anything that you don't want to give, just don't. We could chop it up, girl.
Okay.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Couch Convos with Llaran, where we have conversations from the comfiest place in my house, my couch. And today, I have my very best friend, Rhian.
Hi.
Hey! Rhian, so you are a woman that wears many hats, and I would love to hear about how you got to where you are now.
All right. Well, first I want to say thank you for having me, Llaran.
Of course.
This is such a beautiful opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know, thank you for welcoming me to your comfortable couch, your cozy couch. All right, so I graduated in 2020, like you know, it was the midst of COVID. Mm-hmm. I came back home here to Houston, Texas. I started applying to jobs. I got a job out in South Carolina as a manager with a company. And I worked there for about 2-3 years, and then I realized like, hey, this isn't all that I want to do. I will say I grew up being like, just realizing that I don't want to be like one-dimensional. I want to be able to pivot into other areas of my life and utilize other aspects and like, you know, just creative skill sets that I have. I know I've just never been just set in stone to do just one thing. So I don't know what those multiple things are. So I'm kind of venturing out to figure those things out. But I started out in corporate America in management. And then I transitioned into HR in the healthcare industry. And now I'm transitioning into my entrepreneurship of just, you know, the beauty industry actually. I'm a dual certified lash tech. I'm a future esthetician. I want to continue to expand my credentials and expand my education and continue education for sure. But, you know, I just want to tap into every aspect that I can possibly tap into, that I have a passion for, even just an interest in. So.
You mentioned now currently you're in esthetician school. What made you want to explore the beauty realm?
A couple of things. So I grew up with eczema, all right? And growing up with eczema, especially as an African-American girl, was really challenging. It's not easy to find, you know, sensitive skincare that's good for our skin and that's going to benefit our skin. So the first thing that came to mind was, hey, I want to put together a beauty line that's catered specifically to African-American girls and or women and even boys and men that, you know, struggle with the things that I struggled with growing up. That they can find on the counters of every store that they go to and on the shelves, just to be able to be like, oh, this is meant for me. I know I can use this. That's an easy go-to type brand I can use, you know. And another reason that I was interested in the esthetician realm is because I used to pick my eyelashes. I don't know if it was for it. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, you know, like it would be a little gaps here and there, and I don't know if it was like I'm pretty sure it was like an anxious thing or just like an anxiety thing. I don't know, but I would pick my lashes, and then I realized like, hey, maybe if I put money towards my lashes, I won't pick them as much. And I was rightfully so with doing that. It helped boost my confidence. It's not super expensive. It's not a terrible, you know, it's a luxury experience I get to have, but my lashes are full and healthy, whether I have them on or not. And I just don't have a inkling to even pull my lashes anymore, so.
That's good. Making a big leap and going into a completely different, like, professional sector is not easy. So how did you find the confidence to pivot?
How did I find the confidence to pivot professionally? I think I've always kind of had it built in me. Growing up, I've never just done one thing. I've always wanted to be known for a multitude of things, right? Like I've always been in Jack and Jill of America Incorporated growing up. I played volleyball. I ran track for a semester in middle school. I was in the National Spanish Honor Society. Like I've done como esta? You know, like just kind of being all over the place. And I think that's what is something that's built in me, to just be a driver in the fact that, hey, I don't have to be stuck in this industry for 20 plus years. I don't have to just do this one thing. Like I said, I'm not just one dimensional. Like if I have an interest in it, if I find a passion in it and I want to build my skill set with it or for that, like I'm gonna just take that leap of faith and just trust God that he's gonna take care of me. He hasn't failed me now, so why would it start, you know?
Yeah, for real. Everyone always asks the question of work-life balance and time management, but I feel with you, you work full-time during the day. Mm-hmm. You have school at night. Mm-hmm. And then sometime in between, you are here, like you hang out with me. Mm-hmm. So how do you manage your time?
I don't.
That's real.
Yeah, if I'm being quite honest, I rarely manage my time. I try to manage it a little better. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I have a pretty standard schedule. I go to work from 8 to 4. I go to class from 6 to 9:30, Monday through Friday, and then I take clients sometimes on the weekends, and then sometimes I just want to have time to myself. Sometimes I want to spend time with my close friends and with my family, and just being able to say, oh, I get to go and hang out for a little bit, even if it's for like an hour or two. But aside from that, I'll say when it comes to time management, it has to be intentional. I try not to lose myself in my day-to-day routine. There was a point in the beginning where I was just like overworking myself and I wouldn't take breaks. And I do want to say I appreciate my village. You're, of course, a part of my village for sure. But I appreciate my village and everybody that's kind of just, supporting me throughout this journey as I'm putting myself through esthetician school and as I'm working a full-time job as well. Like, y'all are very patient with me. Y'all are understanding. And y'all realize, like, hey, Rhian's probably not going to be able to make it to everything I invite her to, or she might not be able to make it to anything, or, I might just have to catch her on the fly, like, spontaneously, like, I'm going to pull up on you, or come over, just whatever you're doing, stop. If you're free, come over right now. Like, it's kind of like that. So I truly appreciate everybody that is supporting me along the way to understand that about what I have going on.
Yeah. You bring up a good point because I have talked about this previously on here before, the importance of communication and friendship. And I know people who have friends that do a lot of different things. It could be difficult. I feel like in our 20s right now, it's really hard to not just manage our time and like figure things out with life, but also managing relationships and recognizing that they're going to be changing a lot because we're growing a lot. And when you were like, time management, who is she? I too struggle with that. Like finding the time to be in lab from 8 to 8 and then realizing, oh snap, like someone's having a dinner. So I'm going to have to bring clothes with me to lab and change. And that's just going to have to be what it is. Or I might, have to sacrifice going out one night because I know I got to get up early the next morning. So I think communication, especially with our friendship, since honestly like the beginning, we've been really good at being very transparent and open and honest about this is what I can give right now. This is what our friendship is going to have to look like right now. And that's okay.
Yeah, I remember even having that conversation with you like before when I was interested in going to esthetician school, and I was like, hey, I'm probably not going to be able to see you often, or it's going to feel like, it's going to seem distant, but we're not getting distant. It's more so like our schedules are not going to be aligned for this certain duration of time. Yeah. So I just wanted to be we're always transparent with each other. So.
To be real.
Yeah.
That's so good, because now that's making me think of something else. No, but seriously, I was just talking to some friends about this, to where, especially for new friendships, and I don't know if this is something that in adulthood, as you're making new relationships, you and I have known each other for a long time, and I think we have experienced each other through our, like, growing from being kids, even though we were in college, still like 18 to now, nearly, well, let me not say 10, but like 8 years later. But like, I've seen how you are through these like years, and so I feel it's easier for me to adjust to those types of changes Like sometimes it still is hard, but I feel like it's easier because I just know you better. But as an adult and making these adult relationships, what is it like navigating new relationships and having to communicate with them like, oh, you and so clicked very quickly, but things are going to have to start looking different because, you know, your hours are different, or me and so hang out a lot because we're in school together. And I mean, that's just the circumstance. So how has managing new relationships been on this journey?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Managing new relationships, I think I can say that I'm in a season of realizing who's really a friend versus who's an associate. Okay, I can definitely say that. I've always been a very friendly person, a very personable person, a very bubbly, outgoing person, right? Like, I can walk into a room full of people that I don't know, and I'm gonna leave having either given my number to somebody or gotten my number, like gotten somebody else's number, you know what I mean? And I don't fault myself for that. I don't shame myself for that at all, but I also have to realize, like, hey, everybody's not meant to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know, you're not meant to be everybody's friend. Just because somebody knows you doesn't mean that you have to give your time to that person. And I think it has to do a lot with proximity and availability. Like you said, it's like, hey, if I'm seeing this person on a day-to-day basis, I'm more than likely going to spend the little bit of free time that I have with this person on a regular basis, right? That doesn't mean that I'm supposed to neglect my other friendships, though. So I would just say it is a challenge. It's really hard being able to decipher who's genuinely my friend and who's really being supportive and wanting to be in my corner versus people that are kind of just here for a season, you know, because that happens often too. We've gone through friendships that have like only been friendships for a season. I know some of yours, you know some of mine, so it's just like no tea, no shade, but I mean it is what it is, you know, like it's whatever. And I know the people that I can always like rely on and count on. I don't have to talk to y'all on a regular basis. I don't have to. Like, when we catch up, the little times that we do, it's like, oh, we're just picking up where we kind of left off, but I'm just filling in the blanks of what's been going on, or vice versa. So it's not really something I have to question.
Yeah. You bring up something that I feel is such a bad word to say, that someone's an associate. And I really want us to talk a bit more about what makes someone a friend and someone an associate. And why, like, it's not anything bad. It's not a diss.
I used to look at an associate as a bad term, but now I've realized, like, it is what it is. We're in our mid-20s, okay? If you end up with 5 people that you consider a true friend by the age of 30 or even beyond that, you're blessed. Okay, that is a blessing because, like I said, some people are in your life for a season and some people are in your life for a reason. Oh, that's a word. That's a word. Some people in your life for a season and some are in for a reason. I'm being honest though.
That's real.
Yeah. I would say the difference is like a friend. I mean, of course, a friend is going to be how you decipher a friend to be, but to me, a friend is someone who's understanding, someone who's willing to check in on you. It's not just one-sided. It's not like, oh, I'm only hearing from this person because I'm reaching out to them. You know, it's a friendship is a relationship at the end of the day. Like, I think when you end friendships, that hurts more than in the relationships, low key. Like that's how I view my friendships. It's a relationship. It's something that you have to pour into and that other person has to pour into. Whereas an associate, it's like, I see you on a regular basis because I have to, okay? I don't make extra time out of where we're seeing each other or where we're in the same space together. I'm not intentionally making extra time outside of that to get to know you. That's an associate.
Yeah, I do this where I will categorize people by like how we are, like what our relationship is. So for instance, usually instead of introducing someone like, oh, this is like my associate, because that feels so
You wouldn't
professional.
introduce them like
no,
that.
I wouldn't. But like I would say if it's someone from my school, oh, this is my classmate.
Yeah.
You know?
That's your role.
Right, exactly. That's your role. Or this is like, you know, my homegirl. I do that a lot.
Homegirl, that's how you know. That's how you know.
That's what I do. I'll do that. I'll be like, this is my homegirl. Yeah. I feel like that like softens the blow.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with you and someone not being like friends.
It's not.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm realizing and learning with a lot of people that I'm not even gonna say I thought I considered as friends necessarily, but just people, as I continue to meet people, it's like, hey, I can know you and we don't have to be friends.
Yeah.
We can
and
have
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
We can have a good relationship, a good genuine connection, and still not be friends. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can have friends for certain things. And I think that's where like the associate thing gets mixed in, because I will often be like, oh yeah, me and my friend, or me and my homegirl. But that is somebody that we go to Pilates together every week. So yeah, this is my Pilates friend. Or me and so we're at school. This is my school friend. Like that's what it is. And that's what our relationship is about. And if I were to stop paying my membership at Solid Core,
I might not see my Pilates friend anymore.
And that's okay. You know, I was never going to call her if like I was getting married. But if she saw the engagement ring, I would tell her about it.
Right,
You know?
exactly. No, my mom definitely helped instill that at a young age, and I used to not really understand it. I would come home all the time and be like, Mom, I made a new friend. I made a new friend at school. I made a new friend at volleyball practice. I made a new friend. She's like, Ryan, if that's not your friend, that's somebody you know.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your associate. And it didn't stick for a while. It was just like, oh, whatever, that's my friend. Like, yeah, you don't get it.
You don't
get it. But no, like, I get it now. You know?
So yeah. We've had some great conversation today. Thank you so much. And I want to conclude this by asking, what piece of advice would you give to people who identify as being a multi-hyphenate?
Don't overdo it. Do not overdo it. Don't compare yourself to people or things that you see on social media. Don't sit here and say, oh, I'm interested in this, now I'm interested in that. It's like, no. As soon as you find an interest, as soon as you find a passion in one direction, you know, become an expert in that industry, become an expert in that area, then transition to your next thing so you can help build on that. But don't overdo it. A quote I like to live by is be yourself, because everyone else is already taken, all right? And just stick to what you know and grow on your own pace. This is a marathon. It's not a race, all right? There's no gold medal for making it to the finish line. The finish line is what you kind of create it to be, and just enjoy your journey, honestly. You know, these are years. These are our pure years where we get to be intentional, we get to make mistakes, we get to take risks, and we just get to have fun. Just don't forget to have fun with it.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Let the people know where they can find you.
Thank you again for having me, Llaran. You guys can find me on Instagram at Rhian Elise _. That's RHIANELYSE _. On TikTok, it's The Real Rhi, RHI at the end. And then my beauty page, my lash page, yes, that is at lashedwithluxury _ on Instagram. So.
All right. Well, until next time, bye.